What is up, everyone? Jay here with another Fire Emblem Heroes video, and today we're going to take a look at this year's Valentine's banner, which is Sacred Stones themed as expected. So every year we have a different game for the Valentines. So this year is Magville, last year was Fates, the year before that was Awakening, the year before that was Heroes, the year before that was what was the year before that? Valencia, and then the year before that it was Tellius, and then the first year it was Alib. So Sacred Stones is getting their time, and the first unit on the banner is Adored Dragon Myrrh. So we expected her to be on here. The silhouette was super duper obvious. This is one of the more easier ones to distinguish, honestly. Here she is. Myrrh's always been adorable, and also every time she's introduced as a new version, I feel like it's always top tier, like with her base version and then her also Halloween version. So now she's a colorless dragon armor this time, and she's super stacked with all her stuff in her kit. So let's go over it. Definitely going to be one of the best save tanks for sure. So Loving Breath is her weapon, -1 cooldown with Disencounter built in, so that's amazing. You don't have to run Disencounter Dragon, so that's a godsend. And if foe initiates combat or the foe's HP is greater than or equal to 75%, at start of combat you grant attack plus X to unit and inflict attack minus X on the foe, and X equals the number of allies within 3 spaces of unit times 4 plus 6, maximum 14. So you can get up to 14 attack and 14 attack debuff on the foe, which is ginormous. And you know, being able to get that from your allies within 3 spaces is very easy, especially as an armor, because you know they love to use form skills. They're pretty much the best users of those skills, and of course being a savior you want to be next to your allies, so this is really good for Myrrh. And you grant special charges +1 per attack, which is great because she has armor beacon. You're able to trigger that pretty easily, and you also have 7 HP healing, so pretty much everything a tank wants, except for guard, which she already has. We'll get to it in her later skills. But then she also has damage reduction, because why not? She has Dragon Wall built in and adaptive damage. So yeah, very stacked weapon. And honestly speaking, I think they could have made it way stronger, even though it already looks crazy enough. Because it has DC, they didn't want to put too much on it, but the rest of her kit is going to add on top of that. But yeah, Loving Breath is very, very good for Myrrh. Armor Beacon, like I said, giving her more damage output, more damage reduction. That's unpierceable. Is very, very good. And Defense Res Scowl to help her against Deadeye and stuff, and specials, just nuking her. So Defense Res Scowl, I like they're pumping more of these skills because we just had the attack speed version from Lumera. So that's nice for Myrrh and any other kind of dragon tank. Defense Res Scowl, and then Canny Fighter, which is the exact same thing as Weaving Fighter that we just saw on Winter Byleth like a month ago for Christmas. So it's pretty much the exact same thing, except this time it gives a res debuff instead of defense debuff, so that's going to give her even more damage reduction and also even more healing. So she's very, very stacked and tanky. And then Darkling Dragon is probably the most impressive thing out of her entire kit here. So this is an upgrade from Darkling Guardian that we saw on Legendary Myrrh, and Legendary Myrrh's always had a good niche in like summer duels, especially, where you know skills like guidance and soaring guidance and all the teleportation goes rampant. So Warp Bubble is really good to shut that down, and this one does the same thing, except I think it has a condition for this. I don't remember if the regular Warp Bubble on Legendary Myrrh had a condition, but this time it requires either a support partner within 2 spaces of unit, or you have to have the highest defense. So, or highest defense within 2 spaces. So again, I'm not sure, I have to look at the skill again, but still, that's not too hard to get, because you know, support partner is going to make Myrrh obviously a lot better and even more stats. But if you just have the highest defense, which shouldn't be too hard to do, you know, whoever it is going to be able to have Warp Bubble, so that's pretty good. And then also you have special cooldown charge -1 on the foe, so that's what I was talking about. That's the one thing she was kind of missing, was the guard effect, so she gets that in this skill. And then furthermore, because it's not over, she also can have damage reduction and reduce the percentage of foes non-special reduced damage by X skills by 50%. So she can shred through DR from very, very fast units, you know, and that can be kind of the weakness for a lot of slower armors. And being able to pierce that, I don't think we've ever seen that on a slow armor like Myrrh, so that's incredible. And then of course she has to have Savior built in, so she has Savior built into this against ranged foes, and also gets attack, defense, and res. So it's not just res or defense, it's also, you know, those 3 stats. So it's going to make her very, very good against pretty much any kind of unit. She's very good at hitting both defense, or should I say tanking both defensive and magical hits. So yeah, Darkling Guardian is very, very strong. So she's definitely going to be one of the best new armor tanks, and we've gotten a lot of those, I feel like, you know, especially near the end of last year with like Brave Corrin, who is also, you know, Myrrh's going to give her competition. And we had, of course, Winter Byleth, who's one of the best. So Myrrh, I think, is also one of the best for sure. So that is Valentine's Myrrh. Very, very cute art, but definitely a monster to face. So heavily reduces damage taken and protects her allies. So yeah, I'm looking at Legendary Myrrh's Darkling Guardian skill, and I don't think it requires those kind of conditions for it. But I guess the ally support thing kind of makes sense for Valentine's. But yeah, for Darkling Guardian, it was just unit within 2 space of an ally. But I think, oh yeah, in this case for Myrrh, she can give it to her allies, right? Because before it was only to herself, I think. Let me look at the skill again. Sorry. Yeah, Warp Bubble to unit for 1 turn. Yeah, so she can give it to her support partner. Well, yeah, so this is just overall better in every scenario, pretty much. So yeah, Darkling Guardian or Darkling Dragon this time is very, very good. So watch out for Myrrh. She's going to be a very, very good tank. Amazing tank for sure. She has everything you pretty much want as an armor. So that is Myrrh. And then the next unit on the banner is her good friend Ephraim. So Ephraim, we saw him in the silhouette. It was pretty obvious. And of course, being Sacred Stones themed, you know, makes sense to be on here. I mean, Ephraim's one of my favorite lords. I just kind of wish that this Ephraim wasn't another Lance armor, because he pretty much power creeps his winter version in every way. Because his winter version, I feel like it's always been underrated. You don't see him much, but at high investment, he can be really strong with those brave hits and being able to heal as well. I've always thought he's kind of underrated, but I mean, I guess it's just more consistent Lance armors like Valentine Rudolph and stuff, and Kiel, and even Brave Hector now. But yeah, Ephraim, this guy is also another Lance infantry, or sorry, Lance armor. And I think every Ephraim version, I think, is either a Lance or an Axe. I could be wrong, but there's a lot of Ephraim alts, but most of them are Lance or Axe. Because his 2 Axe versions are his Brave version and his Summer version, and the rest of them are Lance, like his base, Duo, his legendary, and now his Valentine's version. So Righteous Lance is his weapon. -1 cooldown, grants attack defense +4 to allies within 3 spaces during combat, and restores 7 HP to those allies after their combat. So nice AoE healing post combat. That's pretty unique. And as an armor, especially if foe initiates combat or foe is greater than or equal to 75% HP, you inflict attack defense -X on the foe. X equals the number of allies in 3 spaces times 4 + 6. So the same exact thing as Myrrh, being able to get a lot of stats, up to 14 attack defense debuff on the foe. And then you also reduce damage from attacks by 30%. You restore 7 HP, and if at the same condition at the start of combat, you also, when unit special triggers, neutralizes foes, reduce damage by X effects from non-special skills. So you can stop stuff like Spurn, Close Call, just pierce through it. So yeah, very stacked weapon, similar to Myrrh's, and you also get damage reduction, but this time you can pierce through DR completely when your special triggers. But you know, it's also similar with the healing 3 space conditions. So very good, very, very good Lance. Armored Blaze is his special, which we saw in Winter Edelgard, who again is another armor that's going to be giving him competition, or should I say Ephraim's going to be giving her competition. But obviously he's not going to have, you know, Raging Tempest and all the Gale Force shenanigans, but he's also very good in his own right with the min-max stat line, which I think we saw, which is going to be more min-max than his winter version, being probably, yeah, look at his bulk, amazing, 48 defense, is incredible. So yeah, Earth Fire boost, we finally have another tier 3 boost skill, so thank goodness. We had Fire Flood boost for too long, and this is the same exact thing, except it gives you attack and defense instead of res, and also the guard effect, which is good for him. And then Sunlit Bangle, which is another version of another Bangle skill for him. I don't remember, I think this might be his 3rd one at this point. So this time, if he's alive and unit initiates combat, foe can counterattack before unit's first attack, so it's just like his summer version that gives the foe advantage. At the start of combat, if he's alive, you inflict attack defense -5 on the foe. You attack twice, and you neutralize guard effects on the foe. And then you also, when you deal damage, you also get 7 HP healing. So compared to his summer version, I don't have that skill on me right now. I don't remember exactly what that was, but this one's obviously different. But obviously it's similar with the ability to give the foe advantage, which sounds dumb on paper. It might sound dumb, but it's actually pretty good to help trigger your specials and stuff. And that's really unique. I like that. I like that they introduced that with Ephraim. Let me see. Do I have my summer Ephraim? Because I know I pulled one of them. Yeah, I do. Sunlight Bangle. Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, it's a little bit different. It gives you attack defense based on where you moved. So it's like a clash skill, because him, you know, that version was a Cavalier. But you didn't get the Brave effect. But yeah, you didn't get the Brave effect, I don't think. Oh no, you did get the Brave effect. Okay, so it's similar, it's just a little bit different. But it's another Sunlight Bangle, except it's called Sunlight Bangle D. Sunlit Bangle, not Sunlight. So yeah, that's interesting. And then attack defense near save, of course, to help him tank all kinds of stuff. So yeah, Ephraim here is very, very stacked. I just wish he was a different type. Maybe a sword would have been cool, or even like a tome or something. But I guess it's common for, you know, lords especially to have a lot of alts to just get power crept. I mean, I guess I should know that as a Myrrh emblem user. You know, the other Myrrhs have kind of power crept the older ones, so Ephraim's doing that with his winter version. So, but still really cool. I like Ephraim a lot. He's one of my favorite lords, honestly, and he's going to be very, very strong. You know, obviously functioning different than Winter Edelgard, because Winter Edelgard's the player face queen, but Ephraim is going to be able to have the uniqueness of his own with advantage, giving it to his allies, or giving it to the foe, striking twice, just hitting hard. And the next unit on the banner is Admiring General Selena. So Selena's gorgeous. She's a baddie. She's a hottie. I've always liked her. But I kind of wish it was someone else that didn't have an alt, because she already has one. But either way, very, very beautiful art. She's a red tome cavalier this time, and she brings a inheritable tome that's very, very good. As you can see, she can inflict that chip damage, that preemptive damage cheese that Legendary Camilla has, and, you know, Flared Sparrow, of course, too. But Legendary Camilla is the obviously best user of that, and it's not, I'm not saying that she's going to be Legendary Camilla, but you can give this to red tome users, and they can be kind of like a mini Legendary Camilla, because you can have that preemptive damage. Deals damage to foe X percentage of foe's attack as combat begins, and if unit has triangle advantage or you're faster than the foe, X equals 30, otherwise 15. Activates only when unit can attack in combat. Effects that reduce damage during combat do not apply. Will not reduce the foe's HP below 1, so we knew this. And you also grant furthermore attack speed +5, and you also get true damage 15% of speed at the start of combat, bonus to your attack and speed. So this is a really good tome. You can give this to a lot of older red tomes and actually make them hit hard. For example, Henry's always been one of the weakest red mages. He doesn't hit very hard, but with this you can actually get chip damage and hit a little bit harder, so that's a thing. So this Devoted Basket is very, very good. I'm not a fan of it, honestly, because again, they're going to make Legendary Camilla, everyone's going to try to become a mini Legendary Camilla, and judging by the TT unit, they could also have a similar weapon. So not a fan, because there's no counter to the preemptive damage cheese that, you know, Legendary Camilla introduced. But not going to say this is going to be game breaker or anything, but you can give this to red tome units and make them pretty strong and unique, I guess. So that's Devoted Basket. Plus she is obviously the demote, as you can see. Rally up attack is her assist, attack speed catch, and attack res far trace. So, you know, kind of what you'd expect on a demoted unit. But yeah, she's really pretty, but yeah, the tome is kind of cheese. I kind of want to give this to my Katarina. That'd be kind of cool to give it to her, but maybe I should just wait for an arcane red tome. That would really make advantage of her, I don't know, her speed. But this one gives you speed too, so I don't know. But either way, that is an option for sure, something to look out for. And then the duo of the banner, something I predicted. The one thing I wanted was a duo Joshua and Natasha. That would have been really cool. Not to say that Lyon and Eirka aren't cool, they're very cute, but I think that would have been a really cool, you know, out of left field choice, because Joshua and Natasha are a very cute couple, and I guess Lyon and Eirka works. But Lyon and Eirka have plenty of alts, and I think Lyon and Eirka and Ephraim have been, all three of them have been in duos together now, so that's pretty funny. That's a true friendship trio right there. But Esteemed Royals is the name. I really love the art. I love the smile on Eirka. It's precious. And this time Lyon is the lead, which makes a lot of sense because Eirka's already been a lead on a duo before. So I'm glad that Lyon, or Leon, however you say it, is getting the shine as the lead. And he's a green tome cavalier. And this Lyon's pretty crazy because he brings that Femortis cheese with him, but it's upgraded, which is the A skill, which we'll get to. But Tender Vessel is the weapon. You get Canto 1, accelerated trigger at the start of combat. If you're alive, you deal damage to the foe X percentage of, okay, so more chip damage cheese. I wasn't looking forward to that, but we're here. I hope they drop the counter to this soon. But yeah, you deal chip damage based on the foe's attack, X percentage, if unit has weapon triangle advantage, or if the unit's res is greater than the foe's res, X equals 40, otherwise 20, and activates only when you can attack, so similar to what the basket weapon for Selena had. And then you grant attack defense res +5, you grant bonus to your attack defense res during combat equal to 20% of your res, and you also reduce damage from, or percentage of foes non-special, so you can have DR as well. So this is really good because Lyon's going to be slow. As you can see, he doesn't get any speed in this, and he's going to be very, very bulky on the magical side. So this weapon is going to be able to take advantage of that, and you can also pierce through DR, so you don't have to worry about being as fast because you can have that. So that's amazing. And then Iceberg is a special Great Illusion. If unit initiates combat or foe's HP is greater than or equal to 75% at the start of combat, you grant +9 to attack, defense, and res during combat. And if your res is greater than the foe's, they can't counterattack, because why not? And then if unit initiates combat, after combat, you inflict the following status on the foes with the highest speed within 3 spaces of target foe through their next actions. After start of turn skills trigger, action ends immediately. So this is what I'm talking about with the Formortis cheese, because Formortis has a similar thing where if the foe initiates on him and he survives, then they can't move within 3, I think it's the allies within 3 spaces of him or something like that. So similarly with Lyon here, he can do a similar thing, but except it's a little bit easier because he can just not make the foe counterattack, and he's obviously going to have a lot more res than most opponents. And then you can also do that with the highest speed units, so units that are very fast, you know, raid bosses and stuff are gonna have to watch out for this A skill because you won't be able to move. So more movement cheese, so more preemptive damage cheese, more movement cheese where you can't move. I love it. We had it with New Year's Seder, and we kind of have a similar thing with Lyon here. So yeah, and then it says for foes who have not taken an action in summer duels, instead of inflicting this effect, ends their action immediately. So yeah, this is going to be really good, and it's honestly better than Formortis' effect because Formortis has to survive, and Formortis these days has trouble surviving a lot of stuff. So for Lyon, I mean, he still has weaknesses for sure. You can hit him physically, but when you let him initiate on you, it's going to be a bad time because you can't counterattack and you also can't move. So that is Great Illusion, very, very good ace skill for sure. Occultist Strike, which makes sense to you know, stack on top of the preemptive damage cheese, and then Incite Attack Res, which is a new Incite skill. We only have the speed version. So hits hard to start combat and can bury foes with one single blow. So yeah, and the dual skill in A. Oh, so his dual skill also does it too, because why not? So yeah, Lyon does not give a fuck about you unless you're Eirka. And it makes sense because Lyon, he does have feelings for Eirka, so it's a cute duo. I just kind of wish it was Natasha and Joshua. I think that would have been more unique because they don't really have ults as much. But yeah, still a really cool banner. I love the art all around. Here's the dual skill. Inflicts the following status on foes in cardinal directions of unit after start turn. Yeah, so you end their action immediately. And yeah, so similar thing to what New Year's Seder can do and Formortis do, but it's a lot easier. I mean, obviously in Arena, or sorry, in Aether Raid, it's going to be harder because you have to get rid of dual hindrance or get rid of their, you know, get rid of their duos, but being able to stop everybody is going to be really good. So as you can see, they're showing it off here. Yeah, all 4 of them can't move. So that's going to be useful for sure. So that is Lyon. He's a really min-max stat spread. He has 50 res. Am I right? Yeah, he has 50 res. That's not base res, obviously, but that's buffed up. But still, he has like 40-something base res, so that's really good. And he's just be able to nuke, and they won't be able to counterattack. So, you know, no counter disrupt is showing more of its value as time goes on. So that is the banner. Like I said, cute art all around. I do love a lot of these characters, and I do like them. I just wish they were a little bit more creative on the character choice, but they were creative with Vigard, or Vigarde at least. He is the TT unit, and I'm going to assume his axe is also similar to Selena's weapon, giving that cheese chip damage. But I mean, I guess he can get a PRF, but I think Vigard was a very creative choice. It's kind of random. I mean, he's Lyon's dad, but no one would have expected him to be on a Valentine's banner, but at the same time, no one would have expected Rudolph to be on one, and he's on one. So I guess it's not that surprising, but personally, I would have picked someone else as the D mode or the TT, but I guess Vigard's cool. So that is the TT, and we'll see his weapon in a few hours. It might be known by now, but either way, that is the Sacred Stones banner. Definitely a skip for me, because as you guys might know, I blew lots of orbs on the Emblem Marth banner, so I'm not going to be summoning on this, but it would be really nice to get that red tome or somebody, honestly, but I really should skip. But again, this banner is going to last for a month, and it's a good seasonal if you are a Sacred Stones fan. And yeah, it's cute overall. I mean, Valentine's banner has always been cute. Hopefully one year we'll get Arcanea. That'd be nice. But still a good amount of games left. Next year we can get Jug Draw too. I know a lot of people want that, but Arcanea would be great. But yeah, that's my video on the Sacred Stones banner. Let me know what you guys think down below. Good luck on your summons if you are summoning. Please stay safe out there. Peace out.